Attack on Titan and One Piece has a lot more in common than you would actually think. So in today's video, we'll be comparing and contrasting some of the themes of Attack on Titan and One Piece that I've noticed. Of course, if I've missed any, put in the comments below. Big announcement, everyone. GamerSupps is giving free worldwide shipping for all partner codes, meaning if you use code CTactics, you will not only get 10% off all orders, but from around the world, no matter where you are, you will get free shipping. So whether you're grabbing free samples for the first time, no payment info needed by the way, or just enjoying free shipping on your favorite GamerSupps product, use my code. Thank you everyone, and thank you to GamerSupps for being an amazing partner. Both Attack on Titan and One Piece deal with the themes of freedom, which in my opinion all lead really to the same outcome but are executed in wildly different manners. For example, Eren fundamentally believes that when it comes to freedom, that if someone takes away those freedoms, then Eren will take it away from others. This is pretty much one of the driving factors into why Eren activated the rumbling. Marley and the world at large looked at the Eldians as this horrible race that at one point nearly brought on the end of the world. So they gave them some of their own medicine and persecuted them like they were persecuted by, well, Eldians thousands of years prior. Eren is pretty much fighting against that directly, believing that generational hate isn't something that is inherited and that the Eldians that exist now have done nothing to harm anyone, which is pretty much true. Now, switching over to One Piece, Luffy, on the other hand, believes that a man or woman should pursue their freedom to the very end if it makes them happy, because a dream is one of the defining factors of a person, and through the pursuit of said dream, whatever it may be, that's where true freedom is obtained. You can see this in the East Blue arc, as Luffy, along his journeys in assembling the crew, always pushes them to pursue their dreams, even going to the point where Luffy would rather have them pick their individual dreams over their own interests. As well, there is another similarity that I haven't seen many people mention. Then again, nobody's really ever made this comparison before anyways. Both Luffy and Eren are rebellious people who are breaking, well, cycles. With Eren, he's trying to break the cycle of hatred and end the multi-generational war between the factions of Eldia and Marley. This is because of the persecution against Eldians, but as well because he wants to make sure his family lives in a world where the Titan nightmare does not exist. To do this, he has to become the founding and attack Titan, and the founding represents tradition, the attack representing the new future, because, you know, it can literally see into the future. Eren cares not for the establishment because that establishment either wants Eren to roll over and die for what Eldians did before as some divine punishment, or they are trying to eliminate them all with no care in the world. Luffy, on the other hand, is trying to do the same thing. He's breaking laws and rebelling against the Marines and world government of One Piece. The Marines try, just like Marley, to rule over everyone with an iron fist, and they keep trying to take away his dream of becoming the king of the pirates, just like how Marley is trying to take away Eren's dream of freedom. Both examples in this instance all come to one thing, and that's with Luffy to be free to pursue his dream and vice versa. They are both oppressed by their respective world governments. On top of that, what they desire the most is change. Change from the harsh laws of the Marines, and change from the harsh punishment of Marley. One of One Piece's most important and prevalent themes is that of inherited will. Surprisingly, that's also an integral theme to Attack on Titan as well. In One Piece, inherited will is represented through pretty much every character in One Piece to a degree. Luffy inherited the will of Shanks to become the king of the pirates and believe in a dream and fight for it. Chopper inherited the will of Hurlock to become the greatest doctor. Sanji inherited Zeph's will to find the All Blue. Zoro inherited Kuwena's will after her death to become the greatest swordsman of all time. One Piece is packed to the brim with inherited will, and because of that, it adds so much depth to all of the characters and story. There is a lineage for all of them that you can trace back in time and say, that's the foundation of this character. However, in Attack on Titan, I'd say it's even more integral to not only the story and characters, but how the world even functions in Attack on Titan. This can be seen in simply the overall theme of generational wars in Attack on Titan. Like I've already mentioned with Eldia and Marley, who seem to, even over hundreds of years, inherit the will of what became before in direct and indirect ways. A direct way is King Fritz cursing all founding titans and those of Eldian blood to basically lay over and let Marley come and steamroll them because he wants to put it into the conflict of war, and he felt the best way to do that was for the entire race and its multiple generations to lay over and take it. Another is Eren Yeager, who inherits the will of the founding and attack titans past users to fight to put an end to the titans. We can trace all of this back to Grisha, who inherited this mission from Kruger, who likely inherited it from generations upon generations past. The same can even be said for the users of, well, the Jaw Titan as well, who all seem to be cursed to the fate of sacrificing themselves for someone. Marcel sacrificed his life to protect Reiner from being eaten by a sleeping Freckles Ymir, as he didn't want his brother to become the Armor Titan. Then Ymir would go on to sacrifice herself for Historia, which would ultimately just end up with Porco, who would become the Jaw Titan and out of sheer spite, sacrifice himself to Falco just because he hated Reiner's guts that much. Speaking of Reiner, he's a great example too, as he takes on the will of his mother to become an honorary Marleyan so that they would be treated equally, which would then bring back their deadbeat Marleyan dad, who abandoned them after being, well, caught in an affair. This is basically the entire basis for Reiner's decision making and, well, his persona and character, to the point where Reiner would even develop a split personality because he wanted to follow his mother's will, but also was extremely conscious in what he was doing, and he knew it was wrong to some degree, and all the while he was trying to act like the Reiner that was undercover in the Survey Corps, which is shown when they murder Marco and the aftermath of all of that mess. Annie Leonhardt as well inherited the will of her adoptive father to become an honorary Marleyan through becoming a Titan warrior so that he could live a life of comfort. But when it was revealed that her father grew close to her, he begged her to return so that they could be a real family, as he knew he had messed up. This drives every single decision in Annie's life, as she would willingly choose the side that would bring her back to her father the quickest, which was Marley at the time, but after Eren committed to the Rumbling, becoming the greatest evil, she reunited with her friends to save her father from the Rumbling and, well, joined the side of the Survey Corps pretty much. Flock Forster as well. He inherited the will of Erwin by becoming a devil. While he severely misunderstood Erwin, he took a couple of aspects and was a key figure in the activation of the Rumbling and the elimination of everything on the planet. I could go on with this, but basically both series have a strong use of inherited will. Both use it very effectively, and generally speaking, it's the driving factor for a majority of the series characters pretty much anywhere you look. While Attack on Titan and One Piece seems so different on the surface, there are so many similarities to it that the deeper you dive, the more shocking it becomes. Both series have a heavy use of the themes of freedom and inherited will, but they both execute it so much differently. For example, I think One Piece's themes of freedom are pretty much the best in the entire industry, and while it's very, very good in Attack on Titan, being Eren's main motivating factor, One Piece just has a way with it that I think is literally perfect. And I think a great example of that is Luffy, as he allows everyone to become free. In my opinion, I would compare him to the Toru Honda of One Piece, just out there, healing characters and enabling them to chase their dreams, which to me is basically just the pursuit of freedom, is it not? It's the same with Attack on Titan, as the theme of freedom is originally shown to us through Eren, Armin, and Mikasa's dream of seeing the sea, but by the end of the series, that one dream drives them all to obtain the freedom they've so desired, especially Eren. The sea in both examples are representations of freedom, a gateway to a vast world full of adventure and dangers. It's such a powerful thing that in both worlds, it can't keep people away from wanting to explore what lies on the other side. It's crazy to think that a series that on the surface seems so dissimilar, in depth is actually quite similar when it comes to some of the inner workings and mechanics of them. Whether you think AOT or One Piece is better, it's ridiculous to even try and have that debate, because I think what's most important is learning from its similarities and differences, as I think both series themes synergize pretty well with each other. I know that when I started reading One Piece, I went back to Attack on Titan, and I was impressed at how much from One Piece I could reasonably apply apply to the other, and vice versa. But let me know what you think about Attack on Titan and One Piece. Compare and contrasting the themes of freedom and inherited will. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As well, if you love One Piece, we are doing a mega One Piece arc review series, arc by arc, and as well, I'm reading through One Piece for the first time and releasing my first impressions of the arc along the way, which currently I am on Jaya. You can gain early access to these videos by becoming a patron, which currently has my first impressions for Arabasta and Jaya up right now, with more coming down the pipeline very soon. Thanks for watching, bye-bye!